Satnam Waheguru. It is Sahara here, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about Ayurveda. So, Ayurveda is a system of healing that I have been studying for over 3 years now. It all started when I was actually a raw vegan. So, I was only eating raw and uncooked foods because I believed that that was the truest form of eating. I had read that when you cook foods, it ends up killing all of their nutrients, and I wanted to eat food in its purest and most natural form. I was living in Boston at this time. I went to Boston University, and it's cold in Boston. If you guys don't know where it is, it's like snow Tartica in there. Like it's freezing. And I was still eating this raw diet, and I didn't understand why I was freezing cold all the time. Like not in a normal way. I would like shiver to sleep. Like I would work out and like have to stop because I felt like I was gonna pass out. Like I felt so weak and like just I couldn't do anything. Where I was losing all of my prana, all of my energy. But I was still really, stuck on following this raw vegan diet because I truly believed that it was what was best for me and this planet. And I went to India. I was volunteering in India, and I had learned about Ayurveda in my nutrition course because I am a certified holistic nutritionist. And what I knew about Ayurveda was like, oh, it's some sort of like far off, weird, like horoscope kind of eating. Like I knew there were these like body types, and I had like learned about it, but I didn't actually think I was going to follow it. You know, you hear tons about like eat right for your blood type and this and that, and I was like, no, that's cool, but it's not for me. I just wanted to learn about it for the sake of education. So I decided to visit an Ayurvedic doctor, and she took my pulse, and she's like, your vata is so imbalanced. I'm like, yeah, I read about that. Cool. And she's like, no, you don't understand. If you don't change this, this can lead to serious problems in your life. I'm like, yeah, like, what do you mean? She's like, vata is too much wind, too much coldness. And if you're too cold, how are you going to be able to think? How are you going to be able to function? How are you going to be able to reproduce? How are you going to be able to do any of these basic human functions if your body does not have the strength? And finally it hit me. I was like, whoa, like this body is so much more than just like my physical appearance or like the way I feel momentarily. It's actually, the vehicle that I'm going to be riding in for the rest of my life, my offspring's life as well, which had never even registered to me. I was 21 at the time. So I was like, oh, wow, well, what does that mean? And she started describing me to the T. She's like, you're more on the constipated side. You have dry skin. You have dry hair. You have hard time sleeping. You eat at random times throughout the day. Like me to the T. Like you have to know me to know all of these things. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? And she's like, you need to stop eating raw foods completely. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do that. Not happening. And she's like, no, you don't understand. If you keep eating these raw foods, that's increasing your vata, and that's going to create problems like osteoporosis and arthritis if you don't stop this now. People go through premature menopause when their bodies are too cold. I'm like, oh shit. So what does that mean? She's like, well, you need to eat like these lentils cooked with rice every day, and then like put ghee, which is clarified butter, in your food. I became a vegetarian when I was 15. I became vegan like around 18-ish. So I was like, no way am I eating ghee, clarified butter, or paneer, which is cheese. That's not happening. Let alone even all these cooked foods and Indian foods with like heavy cream. I was just like, that's not happening. But there was some truth to what she said. My body was imbalanced, and I knew that, but I didn't want to change it because I didn't want to put animal products into my lifestyle. It's something that I'm so morally against, ethically against health-wise. I promote eating a plant-based diet. How could I eat animal products? So I was like, there has to be a way that I can follow a vegan plant-based diet and still follow these Ayurvedic principles. I didn't want to go one way or another. I wanted to find something that will work for me and take the best of modern nutritional science and ancient Vedic Eastern philosophies. And that's how I created the whole U diet, which is basically about eating right for your mind body type. So I've been working on this book now for 2 years. It's finally done. It's going to be out really soon. You can find it, pre-order it on eatfeelfresh.com. And in this book, it is infusing these two health systems together, modern nutritional science and ancient Ayurvedic wisdom, but in a plant-based and vegan way. And just as Sophia is going to talk to you about, eating a vegan diet is so important, not only for ourselves, but for the planet. But at the same time, eating right for our mind and body types is also extremely important. So a raw vegan diet might work well for like a blogger or a friend or even you in the summertime or you living in a warm place. But then as the season changes, that might not work for you anymore because we are comprised of the foods we put into our body. So if it's cold weather, like right now, even though I live in Los Angeles, it's freezing cold outside. I'm in a sweater. So if I'm eating only like kale salads and drinking green juices and stuff like that, then my body's not going to be able to produce enough heat to, do the functions that it needs to do. And if I'm not eating enough fats in my diet, my brain is going to stop functioning. So I was more of like the high carb, low fat type of raw vegan. So I was eating basically like fruits and vegetables. I wasn't definitely not doing any oils, like maybe like half of an avocado a day, but I was very, very mindful about it. And now it's like totally shifted. Now I eat intuitively. So I still eat raw foods, but I eat them when I know, like, okay, I just worked out. My prana, my fire is up. My agni, which is what they call a digestive fire in Ayurveda. I'm going to share more about that in my book, in my course. But when I can see my fire is strong enough that I can take those cold foods, I eat them. But when I see, oh, I'm feeling really tired or I'm cold or I'm weak, no, I need a soup. I need beans. I need grains. I need something that's going to help build up that strength again. So what I want you to take away from this is before you eat anything, take a look around you. And if you see it's really hot weather, then you can eat something more cooling. So coconut water, greens, sprouts, juices, smoothies, things like that. And if you see it's cold weather, you need to eat something warm and grounding and nourishing. So soups, curries, lentils, stir fries, things like that. A thing that I really took away from learning about Ayurveda is each food has the property that it grew in. So when you eat a root vegetable, think about it. So what's a root vegetable? Like a sweet potato or a butternut squash or carrots or beets. It grows under the ground. So it has roots. It sprawls out into the soil and it's firm and it's planted there. So even if it's raining or snowing or whatever, it's underneath the soil. It's very grounded. What's a grounded person? A grounded person is someone who's very settled and calm, and anything can be going on outside of them and they have their inner peace. I like to think about the Tibetan monks in China and how the Chinese government is persecuting them. And even throughout this persecution, they stay in meditation. And that is sheer grounding to me. So when you eat a food with grounding properties, like in Tibet, they eat root vegetables all the time. Most of their diet is root vegetables. Goes to show that's how they get their grounding. So when we eat these root vegetables, we take on those grounding and those firm properties. So if you're in a place in your life where all these things are going on and you just need to find that balance, go for the grounding foods. If you're cold, weak, grounding. Now, what if you are too grounded? You're stuck. You're unable to move. You're just like sitting there, like watching life go by, and you're not proactive about it. Then you need something that's going to uplift you, that's going to make you flow and move. So what's a food that flows and moves? What has that kind of energy? Leafy greens. Look at a leaf. Like, here, I'll bring this plant over. Look at its leaves. Imagine if it was windy here. They're going to be moving and flowing, and it's going to move, and it's very receptive to the environment that it's in. So when we eat leafy vegetables, we are increasing these qualities within us. Here, you'll sit down right here, plant. So we are increasing our flow, our creativity, our movement, and our mind, our curiosity, our creativity, our artisticness. In our bodies, we're becoming more active. So if you're feeling really stuck or depressed or you can't move on, more salads, more green smoothies, things like that. That's what you need to get proactive, to get that prana flowing in. Because especially when you eat raw greens, you are getting the most of that life force. So if you need it, then that is your medicine. But if you're having too much and you're all over the place, then you need more grounding. So look at foods and see what characteristics am I truly lacking in. Don't think about what's healthy. Don't think about the calories. Think about it from an energetic perspective, because when we eat food for energetic reasons, our bodies and minds are in sync, and intuitively they know exactly what we need. Because the nutrients of a leafy green are very different from the nutrients of a root vegetable. But what you are craving and what you are counterbalancing is what your body needs. So if you have any questions about that, I invite you to send me an email. My email is sahara@eatfeelfresh.com. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter, you can find that on Eat Feel Fresh. And comment or send me any questions, and I would love to answer it in the next video. Thank you so much. Namaste, and I'll see you guys next time.